Hi and welcome back to Love on the Brain, the podcast that helps you transform tough emotions into questions that serve you better. I'm your host, Kay Van Dunk, and I help independent women who are single, divorced, or widowed find their soulmates while staying true to their high standards. In each episode, we'll dive into a frustrating question you might have about love. I'll share some insights and we'll reframe it with some affirmations, also known as askformations, to help you lift your spirits. An affirmation is just a question that's framed in a more positive way to help your brain search for solutions or at least give a shift to your mindset. If your brain's going to be on repeat, you might as well give it something helpful, right? If you haven't already, please subscribe and leave a great review on whichever platform you're listening to this on. Your reviews help other amazing singles find the podcast too. All right, let's get started with today's episode. Today we're tackling the question that many of us have had at some point. I know I have. Will I end up a lonely cat lady? Now, being a cat lady has been in the news a lot lately, especially with the recent U.S. elections, and there's always this really negative connotation to being a woman who's alone with her cats and nothing else. And I think that that's one way of looking at it, but another way of looking at it is that we're all looking for love, right? I don't care who you are. Everybody wants feeling of belonging and to feel as though they're loved by someone. So we're going to look at this a little bit differently. How about we look at the fear of loneliness? And that's common among men and especially amongst independent women. It's kind of like society's way of shaming you into staying in your place and making sure that you two are booed up with someone and not just living a life alone, which has a whole bunch of other roots that we're not going to get into today. But at the end of the day, loneliness is common. There's a lot of talk lately about the loneliness epidemic that was kind of kicked off by the whole COVID pandemic. And statistics might say that it's normal to feel this way, but there's a lot of other statistics that work in our favor. Number one being that people are marrying later in life. So it's totally okay to be at a place in your life where you're prioritizing your needs and what you're looking for in a partner, because you don't just want to get married for the sake of being married. You don't want to just be in a relationship just so that you can have someone by your side. And because you listen to this podcast, I know that even though you identify as a completely independent woman, you may be a little bit assertive, I also know that underneath it all, you are a romantic, or else you would not be here today. You want a love that means something, and you want a soulmate love. So you're willing to wait for it. Depending on your cultures, it might be put on you that women who are over a certain age and single, especially if you have cats, it's just a sign to the world that you've given up and you're done looking for love and you'd rather just spend the rest of your days locked away at home with your cat. Because it's one thing to be single, but it's a whole other thing to be a cat lady. And really, it's not. You are here to create a beautiful, brilliant, fulfilling life, regardless of your relationship status. I don't think it's so common for women to fear being a cat lady if they're out living life to the fullest, enjoying every minute of it. Use this time now in your singleness, of course, to work on attracting your soulmate, but to build a life that you would love to share with your soulmate. Are you living small in any way? Are there things that you're putting off or avoiding, like activities or experiences because it's something that you want to wait to do when you have a relationship or when you're with your soulmate? No, that's not who you are. You are a beautiful, brilliant, wonderfully independent woman Live your life to the very fullest now. We're not waiting around for our soulmate. They're on their path to us, so we have to meet them on that journey. When your soulmate shows up, he really feels like he's complementing your life, not the focus of your life. So move from a place of fear about any title society may be putting on you to a place of abundance, right? Because you are an abundant being and you are full of light and love to share with someone at the right time. And in that time that it takes you to get to that place of meeting your soulmate, you're going to really open up and look around you and figure out what it is you can do to shift from being lonely cat lady to a wonderfully sparkling single woman. And just FYI, I have a cat. I have a beautiful rescue, Oliver, and I'm married. So that's going to be part of our reframe, right? Instead of wondering, am I going to die alone as a single cat lady? We're going to change that question to an affirmation. And that affirmation is, how amazing is it that I'm attracting a soulmate who adores me and my cat? Okay? So repeat that affirmation with me again. How amazing is it that I'm attracting a soulmate who adores me and my cat? You do get love, and you do get to be with the soulmate that you are completely deserving and worthy of. Before we close each podcast, I love to focus on gratitude because it is the highest vibration of all. So think of one thing you're grateful for in this moment. I'm grateful that you tuned into my podcast and love you for listening. Remember, when love is on the brain, asking better questions can lead to better